Hey everyone, I'm Wes Sego, and this is AOC Term 1305 Project 3 discussion. And this week we basically put together some functions and called those functions, and that's about it for what we did for this project. Explain how you used function separation to logically separate your application flow. Well, the functions, we declared all of our functions in the viewController.main right after the implementation view controller statement before it began to run any functions. So the actual code that calls the functions runs in the view did load function. So that would be how that was separated. And of course the functions were declared in the header file for the view controller. So list a few things that you think could use more clarification. You know, I read the book and I watched the movies. I watched all of the movies on Sunday, and I'm also reading Programming in Objective-C by Stephen Kokan, which is a really good book as well. But you know, I just had a hard time getting started. I read so much about functions in Objective-C, and I really read way too much into it, way more than I needed to. So had a couple of questions, so I sent Alexi an email, and she answered me with really quickly, by the way. Thank you. I appreciate that so much. And I was able to get started. And I have to tell you that the last 2 weeks in this class, I've really enjoyed it. It seems like, you know, I do most of my work on Tuesdays. I'm off that day. And for the last 2 weeks, I know way more by 6 o'clock than I knew at, 8 o'clock in the morning when I started. So I guess there's a lot to be said for that. So what do I think I could have done better? I think I could have just tried not to read so much into it and got going. But in any case, here it is. I will go ahead and start it up on my iPad, and I will get Air Server going here so we can take a look at it. And let's see. So that's my first alert, and my second alert, which was the add function, and the third one was where we concatenate the two strings. So pretty basic. That's all there is to it. I did have some thought this week that one thing that really came forward in my mind was when we were doing this in JavaScript and you were calling, say, like a factory type function. I never really gave it a lot of thought. Would just call that function, and I knew whatever it is that function was going to create, it was going to come out of the other side, and we were going to move on. But in this index code and in Objective-C, when you sit back and look at it, it really makes you think about especially the function to create the display alert with string function. That particular one, when I was writing that code, I thought, wow, we're actually allocating resources, and that's part of the code within the function. So every time we call that, we're actually creating a new instance of that. So that kind of helped it for me to put that together and really grasp that, because you really just don't think about that when you're, or at least I didn't when I was writing in JavaScript. I mean, it's the same thing that's happening in JavaScript, but you don't, or I didn't anyway. It doesn't come right to the front like that. So it kind of hit me between the eyes in this week. So anyway, that was good. But I hope everyone had a great week, and I look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks.